But you were born in Kaslo in...
Kaslo, yeah. 1918. November the 15th.
And at that time, where were your parents living?
Well, they were living in Trout Lake.
Why didn't they go to Revelstoke instead?
Well, see, the closest way then was Kaslo. Because, see, the boat came from Girard into Trout Lake, the old SS Proctor. Well, then the train met it at Girard, see. Well, then that went right through to Kaslo, see.
So how long did it take you to get from Trout Lake down?
Oh, it was about an hour on the lake. Then I think it was about 2 hours from there, from Girard down to Kaslo. Well, it wasn't very fast going then.
To Lardeau on the train.
Yeah. So then, well, after we were born, we moved back to Trout Lake, see. And then from there, we lived there for about, oh no, we didn't. We moved to New Denver, I should say. From Kaslo, that was it, after we were born. Then we lived here, see, for 2 years. Well, my dad worked down here at this Bosun mine. He was a blacksmith. And then 2 years, then he moved back up to Trout Lake. Then we moved to Camborne. And he bought a hotel up at Camborne, the old Coronation Hotel. So that's where us kids were raised there, see. There was just three of us, Donald, George, and me. And we were the only kids there, because everybody pulled out, see. But the dad, he bought a car, 1926 Chevrolet Baby Grand, and he used to take passengers down to meet the Beaton boat, you know, steamboat it was then. Well then, that boat would leave Beaton at 9 o'clock, and then would go to Arrowhead and catch the Bonington. It used to come up from, West Robinson, taking all them little towns along the lake. Well then, you'd take the train from Arrowhead to Revelstoke. Well, that was a whole day gone there, just going that little bit. But anyway, then he run a kind of a taxi fare from Beaton up to Camborne. Well, there was prospectors and miners and engineers, loggers and stuff, coming in that country yet.
And that's what kept the hotel going?
Yeah. Then a little bootlegging too, they did too on the side. But then he died in 32. Well, then my mother let everything go, you know. She get rid of everything because she had to look after us hooligans, I call us. And then the Meridian started up. The Meridian mine, that was the old oyster criterion.
Oh, yeah.
And that started up, and then the old Billy Boyd took over the Coronation Hotel. Well, that went for 4 years, see, the Meridian. Then it closed down. Well, then everything died again. See.
That was in the late 20s, wasn't it?
No, the late 30s. Well, the Meridian started in 32, and it went to 36. Well, it closed in 36. Well, then there was just the odd prospectors and stuff like that coming in. And Billy Boyd, he pulled out of it at the last two. There was nothing there then.
But did your mom and your family stay on?
Well, when Dad died, the winter preceding the Meridian opened, he died in February 32, and the Meridian opened up in November 32.
But did you stay on at Camborne then?
No, we moved to Beaton. See, he built a house in Beaton so we could go to school. See. That was the only school. And, let's see, 1929 he built the house in Beaton. He bought 25 acres there. Well, it used to be called Thompson's Land in Beaton in the early days. Then they changed it to Beaton after old Malcolm Beaton.
He was a logger, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a logger and miner too. Well, they were all jacks of all trades too.
Did you ever meet Malcolm Beaton?
No, I didn't meet him, but I knew all his sons and his daughters and his wife. I knew her. But he died what year was that he died? Well, anyway, they buried him in Beaton. And then in the summer they dug him up again, then took him to Revelstoke, see, because there was no graveyard, see. He died suddenly with appendicitis or something, I think, ruptured appendicitis. Oh. Well, then there's that Baker's property. You ever went up there, you could see the old cabin he built. And you think, the walls are just as smooth as that. And it was all done with, adze work. broad axe, you know. Oh, it's amazing. I remember I went up there and to look at inside, you think you wouldn't know it was logs.
Was that a Thompson's Landing or?
No, you know, or above Thompson's Landing, above Camborne. So you got Mohawk Creek up out to the Beatrice mine. And he built this big cabin up there. And then logs were all split. Then there were broad axe, you know.
To make them smooth.
Yeah. But he was good at that. Good. I wish it's still standing yet too, that cabin, because I inquired about it to a fellow that was up in Beaton here not long ago, about a month ago. And he was talking about the Beatrice. And I says, is that cabin still standing? He says, oh, well, yeah. Just as good as new, he says. Built out of balsam. But with that, how they did that broad axe. Wonderful.
You grew up and went to school in Beaton?
Yeah.
And so about the time that the Meridian mine closed down, you were getting out of school, I guess?
Well, we went to school till 1937. No, 36, what am I talking about, yeah.
So then you go to work?
Yeah, I went to work.
Where was your first job?
Well, I went to work at the True Fissure Mine in 1937. That was my first job.
What was your job?
Well, I was bull cook. And we were staying up in the old True Fissure buildings, you know.
What was a bull cook?
Well, you had to go around and make the beds and sweep out the bunkhouses and help the cook too. Well, there was all kinds of jobs and getting in wood. But what were we getting? $3.50 a day I was getting.
And room and board?
Room and board, yeah. Huh.
Where was the True Fissure Mine?
Well, that's about Ferguson. But 3 miles up let's see, you're going towards the North Fork. Well, it's up that North Fork, up the hill there. It was about 5,000 feet.
Did they have a tram line?
No, they didn't have a tram line at the True Fissure.
So how did they get the ore in and out?
Well, it was all come down by rawhide in the wintertime.
But did the miners work in the wintertime?
Well, yeah, they worked in the wintertime too, yeah.
So the mine worked all year round?
Yeah.
Was there a problem with snow slides?
Oh, yes, there were slides too.
Did anyone ever get hurt?
No, there's never anybody got hurt there. But the Silver Cup up the south fork of the Lardeau, it had the tram line. That it went too in 37.
So things were operating.
Yeah, they were operating the Hungry 30s there for a little while, but not for long.
What were the names of some of the mines that were open?
Well, there was the Silver Cup, the Nettie L, and the True Fissure. Then there was another property up Gaynor Creek that dumps into the South Fork. There was what they, I think of that one now. Mollyback. And Mollyback, and then there was another one there too.
Was the Triune working?
Yeah, the Triune was working too. Then let's see now. But a lot of them were closed down, you know.
Was Andy Daney packing there?
No, Andy wasn't packing in, but his son was. Well, his name's Selden. No, the Andy, let's see, his last packing was quite a few years after that. Or before that. Well, he lived till he's about 83 or close to 90. I used to go up and talk to him, you know. He used to sit out in that porch there at the house in Ferguson. And he'd sit and tell you all the old stories, you know. It was hard to believe. And he packed all the different mines he packed into, the Black Warrior, the Blue Jay. And they're a tough place to get into too, you know. And then up in the other end, up the Fish River way, Fish River Valley, you know. Or they call that in Kamaplu, but we always call it the Fish River. And then his son packed too. There's some more pictures I had too of the Teddy Glacier. They call it the Golden Stairs, you know, this one switchback just like that, you know. And I had a picture of Selden Daney, Jimmy Brandon, and Mel Smith. They were packers, you know, and all the horses were on these switchbacks like that, you know. And they, oh God, I wish I had those pictures, you know. Okay. And another picture I had of from back in the cable up to the Silver Dollar mine above Camborne. And they had 1,000-foot cable on the horses, you know. The picture of the horses, a coil on each horse, you know. It was wonderful, you know.
Continuous cable all from one
inch cable it was.
Right.
And the fellow that packed it in, or owned the horses, was E.J. Bradford.
I never heard that name.
Well, he was. I had his name was in that paper I had. I'm telling you. Oh yeah, years and years ago though. But I had that picture of them just ready to take off, go up to the Silver Dollars, 6 miles above Camborne.
What was Ferguson? What was Ferguson like in those years, in the 30s?
Oh, it was a regular high-flying town then.
Yeah, the hotels were still going?
Well, it was just the one hotel. That was the Lardeau. That was run by old Jack Lawton. He only had one eye, you know. And, well, sometimes they'd be all drinking there, and he'd go out to do something, you know, and he'd take his eye out and he'd put it on the counter. And they'd say, you look after things and I'm gone. Oh, he used to be a comical old duck, you know. He had white hair, you know, and he also smoked a pipe. And he was a tough old geezer. If he got smart in there, he could throw them out there quick, too.
But he was an old man.
Yeah. Then the last of it there, though, you know, he'd water the whiskey down. And this, what's his name? Hans Hansen was his name. He said, Jesus, Jack, you're watering that. What are you kicking about? He says, the government puts enough water in it. Why can't I put a little in it? Another time Hans went in there, Hans was telling me this. And Hans asked him for a drink of rum. So Jack reached down, he pulls the bottle out and pours it, nothing come out. It was froze, solid. Oh, he says, wrong bottle. He reached up, pulls up the other one. So he was watering it. And him and his wife run it there. Well, in 37, though, he had that, every room was filled, you know. And I remember we were just punks. We were about around 18, 19 then. Uh-huh. And he let us in the bar, you know. And every morning, if you spent your money there the night before, you'd be sitting out in the old sneak room, you know, with pool poker tables and all that. And just like the old hotels used to be, you know. And he'd call you in, and he'd have two of them drinks for you, that rye whiskey. We thought we were tough to throw that into you. Throw it in you. Oh boy. And it was that horrible, what was it? Johnny Weisner's cheap whiskey it was, you know. Me and George, the twin brother. We used to have more fun there than enough. Well, then there was another outfit that, what the heck? Oh, that was them Jews. They started the True Fissure going. They had all the money, you know.
What was their name?
I'm trying to think of their names. Oh. They were a Jewish outfit, you know, from California.
Was it all American money that was keeping Ferguson going?
Oh, not all American money, no. No, it was mostly Canadian money. But this outfit, there was from the States, you know, but I can't think of the name. But the twin brother wrote a song about them, too. This old Jim Main, he was an old prospector up there, too. He lived in Ferguson. He lived up here about within 10 years ago. And he had a little cabin there. And he was one of those guys who never looked you in the eye very good. Oh, they got you beat, now you'll beat it, where you go, and all this, you know, Scotchman. Well, anyway, him and George composed this song, and it brought them Jews in it. What was good?
What were the words?
Let's see, though. Well, that's the one where the Lardeau River flows. Oh, the Mammoth Mine True Fissure in the valley far below. No, I'm wrong there, too. Oh, there's a little town, Jerusalem, in the valley far below. See, it was a Jewish outfit that was run it. Mm-hmm. And there was old Dave Morgan. He sold the property to them. And old Jim had his name in it, too. And the moment Morgan meets you with his bullshit, he will greet you, and the tigers nearly eat you where the Lardeau River flows. Well, because every time he was an old bullshit with this old Dave. And he'd say, well, the toughest meat I ever ate was tiger meat.
Oh, what was that?
The toughest meat I ever ate was tiger meat, he says. But anyway, this old Jermaine got him in the song, and the tigers nearly eat you where the Lardeau River flows. Oh, it was good.
What's another verse?
Let's see. Well, it started off, oh, you gunny sack contractors, you've all been dirty actors, and you're not our benefactors, as the Lord Jesus only knows. And why your mother's raised you, and why the devil spared you. For it's questions I can't answer, where that Lardeau River flows, where that dear old Lardeau's flowing, through that land of ice and snow. where they mine the mines with them college punks and those two-way radios. And the moment Morgan meets you, with his bullshit he will greet you, and the tigers nearly eat you where the Lardeau River flows. Oh, there'd be a whole bunch of it. But he'd make up them songs, you know. And
college punks.
yeah, college punks and two-way radios. Two-wave radios. But there's another one, in the little where to put there's the mammoth mine True Fissure, where the gold and silver flows, and the little town of Jerusalem in the valley far below. And we're going to win the day, boys, for shorter hours and longer pay, and we'll show them no white feather where that Lardeau River flows. That was the last verse.
Was there a union up there?
No, there's no union then, no. But everybody was coming and going. And of course, it was the Hungry 30. Some places were suffering the starvation deal, but not up there you weren't. You'll see the Meridian, it closed in 36. Well, then the True Fissure started up in the spring of 37, and the Silver Cup. Then there was all them other little prospecting deals, going.
But they were shipping ore, right?
Oh yeah, they were shipping ore, yeah.
So they put it in gunny sacks?
Gunny sacks, ore sacks.
And they wouldn't ship all summer long, eh?
They'd ship in the summer too, yeah.
By pack horse?
Yeah, pack horses. Then they had, in the 30s, they had trucks. They had two old, Andy Daney had trucks, Salvin had a truck.
And
see, they'd take it down to the Beaton dock. Well, then the boat they'd load it all on the barge. Well, the barge would go out to Arrowhead. Well, then it'd be loaded on to the Minto or Bonington. Well, then taken down to West Robbins at the trail. But I often wondered what their expense. I mean, you figured from all the moving you had to do, see? Handling it. Same with that Meridian when it went. See, it was all, George B. worked in the concentrate bins there. And you had sack holders and mucking these. Well, they weigh 150 pounds in sacks, And after you get about the tank clean, we've got 150 bags in one of them tanks. Well, then you load that on a conveyor, and that went out to the truck. Well, then down to the dock it would go. It's half the time the bags would bust. There was an awful lot of waste in that Meridian. That's what closed it down, see. There's another thing that happened there, too, after the Meridian closed, was this Salvin Daney and Jack Fraser, another fellow. They went up, where the spills come over the trams. The cars go over the towers. Yeah. Well, the spill would drop off them ore cars. And they went up there after the Meridian closed, and they sacked all that. Huh. And I forget how many thousands they made in the Hungry 30s. And they cleaned the mill out, went and mucked all around the concentrate bins. And I forget how much they made. Well, it was a damn shame, they'd hose them, them bins out and everything, and all that was going down into Pool Creek. Huh. What they claimed was thousands and thousands of dollars went right down the drains. But there, just go show you what they done, though. They went up there and just, out of clear blue sky, mucked all around them tram towers,
Huh. Would they get the trucks right up to the mine, or did they pack down to the trucks?
No, the Meridian had the tramway. And the ore come down to the mills.
Were there any mills in the Lardeau Creek up in the North Fork? Or
no, the only one that had a mill. Oh, well, it's the True Fissure had a mill. Yeah, but their ore come down by pack horse to that too.
And then they put it through the mill.
Yeah.
So it was unsorted ore that came down.
Yeah. But let's see now, how did they get that? In the early days, so it was mostly all rawhide in the wintertime and that.
Would they hand sort the ore before they packed it?
Yeah, they used to hand sort it, Like up that Beatrice, there was an old sorting bin. They had a little tramway from the tunnel, the main tunnel, down to the camp. And they had a great big tall log sorting bin. There was one guy that was his job, sorting out, the high grade and the low grade by hand. And there used to be sacks of it laying there. I remember I took an engineer up there one time. And the roads, the trails, the hell of a shape, but I got him up there. And we looked in that sorting bin. There were sacks of it, High grade, low grade. Now I wonder when that silver went up like it did, somebody had got into there. Even if you packed it out on your back, you could make wages. Oh, we packed samples out on our back too, the pack board and all that. Oh, good.
Did you fight in the Second World War?
No, yeah, I was in the army. I did go overseas, so I had TB. I was in the BC Dragoons, 9th Armored Regiment. I joined up in 40. I was down here in Trail, I joined up.
So you went from the True Fissure down the Trail?
No, that was after. See, the True Fissure closed in 38. 38, yeah. Then we worked for the forestry in the government. It was relief work. And then 39, the war broke out. That was all, one of the wages we made that summer was out fighting fires. It was a hell of a year for fires in the Lardeau country, you know.
Well, relief camp, was there actually a camp for...
Well, up the Big Bend, there was relief camps there.
But they didn't have any in the Lardeau?
No, not in the Lardeau. But we were on relief, you know. What my mother got, what was it, 27 a month for to feed us hooligans. Well, that was big money, you know. But of course, we had our own little place, you know. We had cow, pigs, chickens, garden. So we did all right to it. Then we'd go on these forest fires, you know. That was, what would you get then? 75 cents an hour, I think, or 75 cents a day on a fire. But you'd get out with a good timekeeper, a good boss, you know, and he'd put in good hours. You get $4 a day, see. Put 18, 20 hours in and all that, which you didn't do. But we done all right. But a dollar went a hell of a lot longer then than it does where it does now. Sure. But there was a lot of old fellas, you know, who used to go around the Hungry 30s and they'd set them fires, you know. Get a stake, you know, and get out of the country.
Was there much logging?
Oh yeah, a lot of logging in there too.
And around Trout Lake and...
Trout Lake and up in Camborne way. They logged all that country off. You can still see the old stumps up there. Have you ever been up around there yet?
Sure.
You can see the old springboard stumps there.
Big cedars.
Yeah, big cedars.
Where did they take them to mill them?
Well, that was milled at Complex, across from Beaton. At the mouth of Fish River.
And was there a mill at Girard then too?
No, there was no mill at Girard, I don't think. No. There was one at Trout Lake.
There was?
Yeah, big sawmill there, shingle mill.
And what were they cutting?
Oh, they were cutting all around that different country, you know, all around down towards Beaton. Well, they logged quite a bit.
How would they get the logs into the mills?
Well, by the lake, they tow them in there, you know. Then they had ways of getting them up to the mill.
So they had tugs?
Tugs, yeah. Steam tugs.
And they used horses in the woods?
Yeah, horses, all horses. Then up that Camborne country, though, they used to, in Fish River, up above Camborne, they'd make big skidways alongside the riverbank. And then they'd block all the logs up till the high water came. Then they'd release the logs and down they go. This old Corey Mahenick told me, he says, they'd go down to the canyon there, you know, just above Beaton. You've been through there too, have you? Yeah. Up to Camborne. Well, you know that canyon there. Well, the logs weren't long like they are now. They were short logs.
Oh, yeah.
And he said you'd see them coming through that river there in the high water, you know. That's when they released them all at once.
Right.
Winters cutting.
So they were cut short. They weren't like...
Yeah, they were short logs. Oh, what's white this?
16, 24.
Yeah, because they couldn't get them any longer. They'd hang up, see them.
Uh-huh.
But as soon as that high water came, that whole river, boy. And then they'd have river drivers too, you know, go down to, following right down to our complex. Uh-huh. But they had a big mill there, the shingle mill. That was a big town too, that complex. Uh-huh. They had a sawmill. I think there was 2 hotels there. I can remember when they were standing. Some of them, the parts of them, that. Well, let's see, that was B.O. Now. Was much at they closed down all at once. All went dead, especially them kind of places like Complex.
When did they all close down?
Oh, that was after the big boom of the mine dropped out of the mine and silver and that. Well, then there's the odd loggers came in, you know, and took logs out and privately business, you know.
Did you ever work in the woods logging?
Oh, yeah, I worked for 5 years with old Paul Frick up at Ferguson. Not 5 years, I must say 3 years.
Paul Frick?
Yeah, he was a Swede fella. You ever heard of his name?
No.
Well, of course, he didn't come out here till about in the 30s, I think it was, he came out. But I logged with him. Then I logged with Fred Campo over Complex. But there was no power saws or nothing then. It was
Fred?
Campo.
How do you spell his name?
C-O-M-P, what was that, U-A or something there. Campu, it was French, and you know.
So
And he had a little camp over there, and I went log with him.
did you fall? Or?
Yeah, I fall too. But with him and me, we fell together, just two of us. And then he'd file the saws at noon hour. And then he'd take take two loads, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Dog them all together, you know, the logs and the horses. It was quite a deal. But we both fall, see. Because just on the crosscut saw.
You'd work together, right?
Yeah.
Two people.
And
How
then,
long were the saws?
oh, it'd be about 5 foot crosscut.
And big trees?
Oh, big trees, big fir, you know. About 2.5 feet to the stump. Or something bigger than that, you know. But he was a good old logger, that one old saw. Did you ever use one of them?
Yeah. They're nice.
Oh, yeah. Well, then George and me logged together to up Trout Lake way. We were contracted with this Dunk McIntosh. It cut in pine.
Where was it milled?
Well, it was taken down to our lakes, then out to our head. Towed out to our head. There was a mill there. And, but that was, we were on contract, and we were getting $1.25 a thousand. And you had to, you know, buck, let's imagine that, worked there all winter. Just made your board, that was all it was.
So if you were contracting, did you have a couple other men working with you?
No, just the two of us, just me and George.
And a horse?
Yeah, with a horse.
Single team?
Single team, yeah. Oh, we did all right, but I mean, of course, as I say, $1 went a long way then. But through some tough times, so too.
So you'd skid the logs to a deck and then they'd come get it with a truck?
Yeah.
Was that after the war?
After the war, yeah.
When
George B. contracted, though, for that Dunk McIntosh, that was before the war. That was in, let's see, that was 36. Fall of 36, winter of 36.
And did they have trucks then?
Oh, yeah, there was trucks then. But this Calder Souls used to have a logging truck, an old gas truck. You know.
What was his name?
Calder Souls.
Calder Souls.
Yeah. Well, he used to run a taxi in Beaton, too.
Uh-huh. That's
where the Meridian was going.
Like your dad had done?
Yeah. But see, my old dad had died. Well, my mother sold the car to Calder Souls and the truck. He had a ton truck to 28 Chev. And Calder bought that. Well, he did good. So he got in when the Meridian was going, and he was taxi business. Then he started a store up in Camborne, a grocery store, and he went good.
How did they load the trucks? Cross haul?
What do you mean?
You'd have the logs in the deck, right? And
Yeah, on the skidway. And they were rolled on with a candock or peavy.
Roll them up onto the
Yeah. But I was saying about this Calder, he was one that used to truck all the concentrates on that Meridian mill, you know. It was a ball mill. But I used to laugh at all the boot waste and that. Load them sacks on where they go, you know.
Just break open.
Yeah. And one fellow was telling me that they take them sacks and after they're through with them, and they boil them out, you know, wash them out, and they surprise the amount of gold they get out of them, you know.
Huh.
But I often think about that up there, all the stuff within that lake.
It's all sitting in some gravel bar.
Yeah, sure.
Did you ever prospect?
Oh yeah, I went prospecting too.
Did you have some claims you were?
No, this fellow, I went out with him. I never staked any claims, but I was with him helping him to stake, this Jim Main. Then I went out with several engineers too. And then I was with Bert Oakey one summer. We took in all that, you know, Pull Creek, went way up in the head of it. Oh, I seen a lot of country. And we were up in the head of, you go up the head of Pull Creek and cross over this other range and get up on a high peak. You can look into the head of the North Fork, the South Fork, or the headwaters of Pull Creek and Boyd Creek in one place there. Oh, I had pictures on that. Lost all the damn things. You know. Oh, you've been up high up in the Disney prospecting?
I flew over with a friend that's a little plane.
Yeah?
Took me up the Duncan and up the Westfall.
Oh, yeah?
And then over Marsh Adams Creek.
Yeah?
And down the North Fork over Ferguson.
Oh, yeah?
It's beautiful country.
Oh, well, I imagine when you were going down through the North Fork, and I was up in one pinnacle there, you could look right down towards, you know, Ferguson. You can see that Nettie Hill. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was all over that country. Me and this Perdoki. Well, he used to go out to these different engineers, you know, every summer, and he used to always get me.
And would they be from big companies usually?
Oh yeah, pretty good big companies.
Like Kaminko? Or?
Yeah, Kaminko, and who was the other one? You had Dr. Skirl out one. Did you ever hear Dr. Skirl? No. He was a great geologist or mining engineer. And I'm trying to think of this other fellow who's come out.
Newmont and...
Yeah, that was in there too. Or they had something to do in there. I'm trying to think of another name. He's got one about the sunshine, the sunshine lard was on the bum. That was another one.
How's that go?
Oh, I can't remember it now. Oh, the rotten times of your last. The sunshine's on the bum. Oh, I say it was too bad. You had been here when you were here, because he knows. He's a good talker too, you know. But he. What was the other one he wrote? And he wrote when they flooded Beaton, you know, the hydro flooded that. He wrote a song up about that too. And then I wrote one about Slater too. That's the fellow who used to run the Beaton beer parlor, you know. The Beaton Hotel. I can't remember it all now, but see, he had a generator down there. He got his water from that Beaton Creek. Mm-hmm. Well, the generator was down right on the bottom, you know, below his hotel. Well, then, when the hydro flooded that country, see, well, the water come up, and his wife made him go and build a raft, you know, and get that generator out of there, you know, before it got flooded. Yeah. Well, he made a raft, all right, and he got the generator on it. Then he got out in the middle, you know, there was a flimsy raft he built, and the damn raft the generator rolled off the raft. He lost it. He never did get it. But in 20 minutes, I had a song wrote up about that, you know, and him and Tommy Anto and another fellow, the road foreman. Tommy used to be the road foreman in Beaton. They come down to visit me. They bought beer, and Slater was there. It's kind of an easy going fellow, you know. You'd say, "Give us a beer, Jack." Okay. You know, like that. You know, nothing seemed to excite him. But anyway, I got a little song here for you. And they're all sitting there, Tommy Anto and this Tommy Reed. And I started off with Beverly, his wife, you know. She'd get drunk too. "Now, come on here." And, you know, funny voice on her. So I started off, I can't remember it all, but here's the way it started off. "Oh, the weather's getting warm and the water's rising fast. Now, Beverly said, Slater, now get off your ass. The generator lies in the valley far below. Now you and Simmons make a raft and get the hell and go." That's it, you know. I had 9 or 10 verses of it. And the other one was, "Oh, the lights are off in the old Beaton Inn. Who gives a damn? We like our beer in the dim." But I had it all wrote in 20 minutes. I watched him from this Fred Lade. You've heard of him, haven't you? Yeah. Well, I was up in his cabin and looking out the window at them. Slater with this raft, you know, pump up the generator. And so I sat down and I made this song up to the tune of that, what do you call it? Johnny Horton's. The Battle of New Orleans, yeah. An old lady could get it. He got a hell of a kick out of that. And he taped it. Too bad. I wonder what she ever did with them tapes. See, he played one of them Ottawa harps, you know, and played the mouth harp and the holder, you know. And I used to record on the piano to him, play the piano. And then we used to tape it. And then I made this song up, and he taped it. So I often wondered. She's still living. She's up in the cusp.
Mrs. Lade?
Yeah, in the senior citizens' home there. Ina's her name. Ina Lade. I guess you know her name. Well, he could have sure told you a lot about Camborne. But see, he was just a kid when he left there. Fred Lade. He used to ride back and forth with them old stage drivers and everything, you know. And he had a bunch of pictures there, too. I was just wondering if she'd still have them pictures. And wouldn't hurt you to call and see her if you're up in the cusp. Yeah. She's still in that senior citizen. Well, she ain't so old, you know. She's only about, I'd say, 67. She's 5 years older than me, you know.
5 years older than me?
Yeah. I'll be 62 in November. But she had all them, or her husband had all them relics, you know, and the snowshoes she used to put on the horses in the winter time. Mm-hmm. He had them and everything. Where he got them from, I don't know. But he just died all of a sudden. His whole heart gave in on him, you know. Yes. You think of all them old days, all them old happenings. But I say, I wish that George had been here when you were here, you know, because he's got a good memory too, you know, better than I have. And it's like them songs he can think. He was singing them here, you know. He was down, and I think Fern taped a few of them too. But some of them were, as far as women was concerned, it wouldn't go over so very good. Well, you come from Argente.
Yeah.
Well, your people must know that country, or you must know it pretty well then too.
Yeah, my folks aren't from there, but I've moved there.
Yeah?
Yeah, you get to know it fighting fires mostly, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would be a pretty good job. I guess you get good money fighting fires now, though.
They just upped the pay. They doubled it since in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah, look at your power saws. And...
Yeah. Well, it used to be $340. Now it's $620.
$620?
$620 this year, but there's no fires yet.
No, it might be yet, too.
It's still early.
The last fire I was up was on up the Big Bend. And power saws there, but they're getting, it's a 2-something an hour for their power saws. But then Birch Creek we were up there. That's the last fire I was on.
How long ago was that?
1960. Gee, that's 20 years ago. Yeah. 20 years ago this July. Don't seem that long ago either. That's the first time I had a trip in one of them helicopters. Well, see, they sent 4 of us up to that fire from the main road, you know. And it took us 5 hours to get up that fire. And we blazed the trail into it, you know, and with packs at our back. So anyway, I hurt my foot. And this, the fellow who was the boss there, the ranger, he said, I'll put you to work, Stu. He's down at the lower camp. He said, so he put me down there cooking. Oh, I had a great job there. And great big steaks and everything. And the helicopter guy used to come in there, and I'd say, his name was John. I said, how'd you like your steak? Oh, make her medium there, Stu, he'd say. And so I cooked him a steak. And one day he'd go up the fire. He said, would you like to take a trip up that fire? I said, I sure would. So I got in the helicopter and went up the fire. Well, you know how long it took him? 10 minutes up and 10 minutes back. And I told him, I said, you know how long it took us to get that fire? How long? I said, 5 hours. Oh, and he went up there and it was sail. And he put one runner on the stump, you know. And the guy did the sling. Away he went again. Oh, it was less than 20 minutes. In us, 5 hours. Well, you know, up over the windfalls and...
Helicopters are great.
Oh, boy. If they were only cheaper, eh? They're a great thing to have.
$300 an hour.
Oh.
The government.
Yeah, well, I used to have quite a few rides with him. He'd slip me in, you know. Well, I got to know him good because I was the cook there. And I'd say, how do you like your steaks? Oh, he loved his steaks. How nice fellow.
Is that Okanagan helicopters?
Yeah, I think it was Okanagan. Yeah.
They're a big outfit now.
Oh, I guess they are now.
All the way to Newfoundland.
True. Yes, it's a big outfit, I guess.
What was Trout Lake like? Ferguson was sort of where all the miners lived, but Trout Lake was more stores.
Well, Trout Lake had more stores. And then there was, I don't remember. Oh, there's 2 hotels at Trout Lake.
Was Mrs. Jowett around in your day?
Oh, yes, she was. I remember her as long as I can remember.
What's she like?
Well, she was an old Lancashire woman, English. You know. Well, see, George and me used to go up the summer months and stay with this old Mrs. Fee. And because her old husband was out working, you know, all the time, and she was lonesome, and she was another old English woman. We pretty near drove her crazy, me and George. But we knew all them old fellas, you know. We'd go around bumming snuff off them, you know. We used to chew. We were all about 9, going on 10 years old. There was Jack Stobart, that's who Stobart Lake was named after. And Ole Alarmo, all old bachelors. Eric Olson, Nels Bedeen. I can remember quite a few of them. Jigson, Scotty Gray, Jack White. Oh, there used to be all kinds. Oh, bachelors, you know.
Had they been in the Lardeau for a long time? Or?
Oh, they was all in the early days. They come out here in the 90s or 80s, you know.
And they just stayed on?
Yeah. Well, some of them were married too, but their wives had died or left them. But there was all kinds of them. They all had their little cabins. This old Jack Stobart, he used to take George and me out huckleberry picking, you know. In his shack, oh my God, it was a dirty shack. But then we come home with the huckleberries. He'd give us each a bowl of huckleberries, so that canned cream in it. And you'd see the old bowls with the dirt on them, you know. It didn't bother him, but he was a big whisker. But he was the one that they called that Stobart Lake after. Because there was some English people come out, and he built a hay shed on it, just an ordinary hay shed on the ice. See, the lake was froze. And he told them that it was a lovely piece of farmland. So they bought the damn thing off him. And they say when they came in the spring, the hay shed had gone, it was just a lake. So that's how it got to be called Stobart Lake. That's what they told me.
Well, where was Mrs. McPhee's house? Was it?
Well, it was right, you know where, you've been in Trout Lake, yeah. Well, let's see now. It's Art Williams lives in it now. It's right next to the hotel. As you come up from Beaton Way, you pass the hotel, it's the next house. That's if it's still standing. I don't know if it's standing or not. Oh, yes, it is. Art Williams owns it.
So you used to go there as a child when you were a kid? Yeah,
about 9 years old. We'd go up there, and Mother would take us up there. I guess she'd take us up there to get rid of us for a while. But anyway, then there was the McPherson boys. They had a barge with one of them motors on it.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to take stuff down to Gerard, mail and all that. You know.
Did you ever go down to Gerard?
No, not with them, no. I did go down to Gerard years after that. Oh, we had chances, but these McPhersons, they called us the Cat and Jammer kids. We're into every goddamn thing, you know. Well, they saw all the names they had for us. But there was Huey McPherson, Alec McPherson, Don McPherson. Then there was the two Rogers boys, too. They played the violins. Well, their dad was an old miner, too. He died with silicosis. And their mother died with childbirth. So Harold had a house, and his brother had a house. And they wouldn't live together. Two brothers. Fight like cat and dog. And he's still living. He was up to see me here a year ago, Harold Rogers. He lost all his hair, you know. Not an eyelash or nothing. But his dad, my old dad, leased not the Net but the Lucky Boy property. That's where my mother and dad spent their honeymoon.
At the Lucky Boy?
Yeah. And she went cooking for them. Not the Lucky Boy, the Ethel. That's just up from the Lucky Boy.
That's Fish River.
Yeah. No, that's not Fish River. That's on the Lardeau. See, that's where the Lardeau dumps into Trout Lake. Trout Lake, see.
On Great Northern Mountain?
Yeah, that'd be the Great Northern Mountain, yeah. See, you go down 12 miles till you hit the Higher Lakes, then that's where the mouth of Fish River is.
Right.
Well, what direction you'd be going there? You'd be going northwest.
That's right.
Yeah.
Huh. So your dad, he tried some mining too, right?
Oh, yeah, he was into all that, leasing properties and that. He leased the Chola, that was just below the Meridian mine. He worked that for 2 years, him and another fellow, Bill Butler and Ginger Nesbitt. And let's see, who else now? Well, that was just the three of them.
And they'd work underground?
Yeah, work underground, and he'd sharpen the steel and all that for them. They did pretty good on that kind of business too, you know.
Did you ever learn how to mine underground?
Oh yeah, I mucked. I never did any mining, but I mucked and all that.
Did you muck in the Nettie Owl or the...
No, not the Nettie Owl, no, just the Meridian was the only one, because see, I was just getting of age then. Mm-hmm. But I bull cooked up the True Fissure then, but I was 18, but I didn't go underground. Oh, I used to go in and bullshit and that, but I never worked under.
Did they have a compressor?
Oh yeah, they had a compressor and that.
So they had air drills?
Yeah, air drills. Mm-hmm. But the Meridian, see, when it run, it had its own water power and everything, see, off a Pool Creek. But when the Sunshine Lardeau went, it had diesel. See, they didn't take over that old plant, or didn't fix up the old water line, see. Mm-hmm. So they had and they didn't have no tramway. Oh, that's the road you should have went up when them trucks were coming down. The twin brother was the compressor man above, and he used to drive the Crumleys up from, Camborne up to the Sunshine. And my God, it's just like someplace you had to back, to get around the corners. Well, that's how they hauled all their ores, see. Then up above the mill, about 1,000 feet up, they had a raise. It went down, see, then another tunnel going in towards the mill. Then they used to have the cars come in there. The trucks dumped down the raise, see, then into the mill. Or went to the crusher, and then all the ball mills, and into the classifier and all that.
There must not have been too much prospecting, I guess, by the time that you were in there. Most everything had been staked.
Oh, yeah, pretty all staked then, yeah.
You're just going over this.
Oh, yeah. But this old Jim Main, I used to go out with him quite a bit. I didn't stake no property. He used to always get me.
Was there ever a sense of that the Lardeau was going to boom again, that there was going to be big money and big development?
Oh, yeah, there's all still that feeling that a little bit. It's not even touched yet. Who was I talking to somebody down here that day in the... old Curly Elsmore. He says, they think this place is finished. It's not finished yet. He says, there's lots of ore here yet. And he claims that they just took the cream off the crop, off the top. Well, maybe something in that too. And the way that silver went up here.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
And who was telling me that the Meridian might start again too?
I haven't heard.
Well, that's a gold mine.
I hadn't heard.
No.
There's a molybdenum.
Oh, maybe. Well, that's one up in Trout Lake too. Well, that's just the lucky boy. It's in the same vicinity, anyhow.
Oh,
yeah. But I can remember when the old Proctor was still laid on site in Trout Lake. Because George and me used to go there and we had a little rowboat, We'd go there and we'd get up and crawl up on it. Well, it was up, the pilot house and everything was up. One of those little bastards never drowned, too. We were just the two kids around it. But we'd be around there diving off that thing. But I guess the old motor of that's still laying there yet, too.
All the old machinery.
Yeah. But it was pretty good shape. It just sunk, I guess, a few years before that. Then I had pictures of that, too. My dad and a whole bunch of old-timers on the back of it coming from a funeral. And it says SS Proctor. Who the hell was the captain, too?
Fitzsimmons.
Captain Fitzsimmons was the captain on it. Yeah.
Did you ever meet him?
Oh, well, in his last years I met him. I had a room up there, in the King Edward in Revelstoke. Mm-hmm. And I used to go into his room, Oh, he was an interesting old bugger. But he was getting old then. He must have been in his 80s.
Did he tell you stories about
Oh, told more stories enough, But I forget a lot of them, But I remember he was the captain when we took our first trip down from Arrowhead to West Robinson in 1929. And he was the captain then. A great big man, well dressed. One of them great big logging chains hanging on his vest, watch chain. But I remember, I'll never forget that trip as long as I live. Well, I was 10 years old then. Mm-hmm. And I remember we went, they stopped at all them little jerkwater places, Needles, Burton, Edgewood. And I think we left Arrowhead at 11, and you got into West Robinson about 11:30 that night. Then we took the train from there to Trail. My mother went down to see her relations, cousins. But I'll never get that trip. It's so pretty a trip and nice weather too, And you could see, the one place there, you could see that old Kettle Valley that they're talking about now. Mm-hmm. The train going along and way up on the mountain, It was somewhere down there lakes. I remember us looking at it. Mm-hmm. But geez, that must be a good 7,000 feet above that lake, where that train was.
That's quite a train.
Yeah. They were trying to renew that again, eh?
Yeah, but the CPR wants to tear it up.
Yeah.
They don't want to have anything of it.
Well, I thought maybe that'd be a good tourist attraction.
People that are trying to say that they want it to run as a tourist train.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's a lot
Don't look like they're going to get it, though. And where did you see Archie?
Soup?
Archie Greenlaw.
Down in Victoria.
Is that where you see him?
Yeah, he lives down in Soup.
Oh, I thought he was still up in this neck of the woods. Oh.
He and, well, how did you ever come to meet him? Because he was down in the south end of things.
Well, I met him that was in the 30s. Because see, Archie used to come in, him and his brother, Johnny, they'd come in to Gerard, see? And then they get a boat and they go across to Trout Lake. And then they get a ride down to Beaton. And we had dances down in Beaton, see?
Oh, yeah.
And he used to have his violin. And I used to chord to him on the piano. And anyway, he's some relation to this nurse. She just on here the other day. She comes on the weekends. And she told me talking about Archie Greenlaw. And I said, God, I know Archie Greenlaw. I knew him when I said, he's only about maybe 5 years older than me. But he used to walk to them dances. Well, he lived down in Kaslo then. Not Kaslo, Lardeau. Yeah. Then him and his brother, I knew them all. There was one of them up here a year ago. King was his name. And his wife was with him. And they were talking there to this Fern Cooper, one you I introduced you today. And they knew her. And I heard her say, well, it's a long time since I run the Kaslo Hotel. And I looked over and I said, what's your name? I butted in on the conversation. I said, and who are you? Greenlaw. I says, well, big, tall, gray-haired, and old looking. I says, you're not King, are you? Yeah. Well, you should know me. Oh, for God's sakes. That's the first time I'd seen him about 30 years, we'd say. Yeah, that was like a year ago. Well, that's Archie's brother. Well, I knew them quite a few. I knew Johnny, King, Ransom, and Archie. But that's a good many years ago, because that was the 30s when he used to come to the dances there.
It's a long way to come for a dance.
Yeah, but these all seemed to get together at that time. We used to, me and George, take the violin and the guitar, and we'd come up, and they'd take a launch from Trout Lake. We'd go down to Gerard, and Mike Doreen had one of those old speeders on the railroad track. And he'd take us down to Poplar Creek, and we'd play for the dances there, then bring us back. And you know who was running that place at Gerard then? Was Mrs. Brandon. Right. And you know what? She's living right yet. I went and seen her about 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
Well, so I'll never forget that. Well, I went down with Sue here, you know, the girl that looks after the activity room. And she took me and Ed down. I took the violin, and Ed took his guitar, and Fern plays the piano, you know, and her dad plays the accordion. So we put music on for them at that St. Francis, is it? Yeah.
St. Francis.
Well, anyway, after we're pretty ready to go, I says to Sue, I says, ask that lady at the desk if there's a Mrs. Brandon here. And she went and asked her, and she's just down 2 rooms down. So I went down there, and she's 98. And I says, how do you do, Mrs. Brandon? Oh, who are you? I says, Stewart Lindsley. Oh, you're the one that butchered the pig. I used to go down and work for her, you know. That's another 30 years ago, too. See, I'd go down and help her and Mike. And I butchered a pig for her. And she had home brew, you know. And me and Mike got into home brew. And I saw her butcher that goddamn pig. And I butchered it all right. But when I got it in the water, you know, a block of tackle in one of the big tanks. The rope broke with the block of tackle, and in the pig went. Oh, Altad getting the boiling water. And she says, I brought you down here to butcher a pig. She says, not cook it. But anyway, she remembered that. So that was the first time I went down. Well, then I went down 3 or 4 weeks ago with Sue and Ed and me again. And had her up in a chair. She knew me then right away. 98. But she run that little tourist deal there. And she had a piano there. I used to go down and play the piano. And anyway, and I'd work there every month for her, just to help her out painting and stuff like that. And she liked me. And she's, well, but you cause a little fun around here. She said, what's that? God, I couldn't get over that. 98. And she's only got one boy left. That's Jimmy. He lives up on the coast there somewhere. Yeah. Or Vancouver Island.
He and Archie live and a guy named Doc Wilkerson.
Yeah?
They all live about a block apart from each other.
They do? Oh, for God's sake. What do you say, the town? Souk?
Souk.
Yeah?
Just north of...
I wonder what Jimmy's mailing address would be. Napkins and the finest of china and all that, you know. And me and George used to go there, and all our stuff was all homemade, you know, homemade bread and then big buns. And George would be in there when she was making donuts and all that stuff. But, oh, God. Well, we'll say 1928, 29. Holy doodle. That's quite a while ago, too.
Did she have customers?
Oh, yeah. She used to have the odd prospectors come in. They'd stay there, you know. Old Cap Fitzsimmons, he used to always stay there. That was her real old guest, was Old Cap.
What was the name of Mrs. Jowett's hotel?
It was the Windsor. And then she had no fellow working with her. He run it. It was old Jack Simpson. And he used to give George and me a bottle of ginger ale, you see. Well, I'd play the mouth organ, and George would step dance, you know. Oh, we used to go pretty good there, hooligans, you know. And he'd say, give him a bottle of ginger ale. He was Scotsman, you know, old Glasgow Scotsman. My mother was from Scotland, too. She was from Dundee. But anyway, that hotel was clean. Oh, hell, nice place.
Would she keep busy enough to...
Yeah, then, you know, she used to jump on the old horse and go up to her property, up to the Winslow. And she was in her 90s then. And she'd go up and stake, or what do you call it, do the assessment on her property. And she'd take a man with her, you know. And she was 93. What would they call her property? Just above the Winslow. I've been up there, went up there with old Ben Wig, doing assessment work for her and that. And do you think I can think of the name of that? Simple name, too. My property, she'd say, my property. But she'd ride horseback, you know. That was quite a ride, too, you know, way up there. Well, right from Trout Lake, see? You go along on the old trail, you hit the Winslow Trail. Well, it was a good 12 miles, or more than that, and up 6,000 feet, where her property laid. Then, well, she died at 103. And he used to bootleg old Jack Simpson.
Is he any relation to the Simpsons from Hauser?
No, he was no relation. He was from Scotland, too. No, he was no relation. He died, he was 70-something, he died. He was buried in Trout Lake, too. Oh, it was a big funeral, too. I remember going to that. Well, he died when the murdering was going. 35, he died. And most of all them old timers that died there, they were buried in Trout Lake.
Can you think of any good stories about Lardeau?
Well, there's so many of them, it's so hard to remember, you know.
About logging, or about mining, or some of the people, some of the characters.
Oh, there's so many characters there. I'm trying to think of.
I bet when you were a kid you had some good run-ins with some of the old timers.
Oh, yeah. Oh. There were so many of them, you know. Like that old George Edge, that's not old. Well, he was the miner. Oh, he did mine too. But he had a ranch above Camborne, you know. And he lived alone so long, you know, he got kind of queer, you know. Well, George and me, see, we had a trap line too, above him, up the Fish River Valley. We used to go up there in the fall, you know. Well, the prices were good. And we used to stay at this old George Edge's. Well, some nights we'd stay a night with him, or some nights we'd stay alone with him, you know. But he'd sit there, you know, and it'd be all right if you keep him talking. But as soon as the conversation got down, you know, he'd start, and he was showing his teeth, clicking his teeth, that was it, in his pipe. And he'd say, who's that son of a bee down there that's putting the sugar in the clocks? He'd say. Oh, you don't know what to say, you know. Oh, I don't know, George. What is it? What's the matter? Well, every time you wind them, they crackle. And all that stuff. And I was there one day and he said, who's that son of a bitch down Beaton there throwing that stuff up here? It's taking all the paint off my roof up there, he says. And he thought that some person down Beaton, you know, were throwing this stuff at him. And he says, that's Mrs. Butler. She used to bootleg down Beaton, you know. I see her looking at me into the mirror there, he says. And you try to get him out of it, you know. But see, he got that, he imagined all that. You know. But otherwise, he said it was anything. You get him out on the porch, and he could tell you all about the early days of Camborne, you know. He was there up in 1886 or something when he came out.
What was his last name?
Edge. He was originally from Haiti. And, but anyway, he got a little bit funny in the head, you know, but otherwise he was sensible. And see, there was Metzler. He married my mother after my dad died. But he had that trap line. Well, George and me bought the trap line off of him. And so I trapped with Metz 1 year there in 46. Well, we used to go by Edges. And Metz and him were loggerheads, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I went in there one day and, where's that Mr. Metz? I said, so he's gone up to the trap line. He's gone up there. Did he drag any of that bacon rinds behind him? I said, what do you mean? Well, he drags those bacon rinds behind him and all the Martin go up there to his trap. But otherwise, he'd be sensible. If you could keep him talking, he was all right. Then you had hay there, you know, too.
He made hay?
Yeah. He'd, grow about 3 or 4 tons there. Well, there was me and Ray McLaughlin and old Corey Mahenick. He was about 83. And he used to be the mayor of Camborne one time.
Mahenick's an old time.
Yeah, well, that's him. That's what that Mahenick Creek's called after. Well, he come from Camborne, England. So he was the first mayor of Camborne. Well, anyway, there was him and me and old George and Ray McLaughlin. See, Ray had the horses, and I run the baler and drove the horses, see. Well, Corey was up in the mow throwing the hay down to old George, see. He'd throw it into the baler. And Ray, he'd do up the bales, see, and weigh them. That's how it went. But anyway, we'd be out, you know, stuck it up the hay, old Corey and me. Well, anyway, let me tell you, for I'm getting ahead of myself here. We had stayed there, boarded right with old George, see, and we had those, you know, canned Swiss sausages. Had them 3 times a day, you know, because that's when kind of meat would stay there in the summertime and hot. And anyway, old Corey, he didn't stay with us. He walked back to his house in Camborne. Well, that's about 2-3 miles.